This is Howard Walensky for Skype, and I'm speaking with Brian Richter, a U.S. history teacher in Sterling, Kansas. Well, tell me, Brian, how does Skype fit into U.S. history?
Well, it does fit into U.S. history because we can talk with a lot of people outside of my four walls in the center of Kansas. Sterling's just a little bitty community, and so Skype's going to allow, hopefully, us to be able to visit with scholars and authors and newsmakers. If they're willing to talk to us, we'll be willing to talk to them.
How long have you incorporated Skype into your classroom?
This is the first year I've done it. I've been wanting to do something like it and didn't really know about Skype much. And so our tech coordinator, Dean Mance, and Terry Robson informed me about it. And so we were just able to do it with Skype. And as long as people are willing to talk to us, we'll talk back to them. And it's just sometimes hard to get people to want to visit with us, though.
I thought it was kind of interesting. You don't have a telephone in your room, so you couldn't do a teleconference. And you just last week had Bob Dole on speaking to your class about World War II, right?
That's right.
So you do have something in your classroom that you may not have a regular telephone, but you have internet, and that brings you Skype, right? And
Right. As I told the kids when I found out that they wanted to do a teleconference, I told them they have 1970s technology. You don't even have that. We have the 2000s technology, and so we were able to convince them that this would be a pretty good way to go.
when you say convince the Dole people.
Yes, the Dole people. I think they were. I don't know. They didn't really know about the technology, quite frankly. I know they know about webcams and things like that, but I don't know if they'd ever heard of Skype or had ever done anything like it. And so um, Dean Mance was able to call up there and visit with them and show them that it really wasn't a big deal and that it'd be a good experience for them and us.
So how did it go? Did Senator Dole seem comfortable in talking on Skype, and did the kids were the kids very receptive?
The kids, of course, I think, and that's one of the things I want to do. The kids are receptive to this kind of thing. In fact, I would rather him have been on Skype than in my room because of that technology. The kids enjoy that. I think the only thing I don't know, the sound wasn't very good for him, and his secretary had emailed back and said the sound wasn't very good, but I don't know why it was good for us. But he seemed real comfortable, and he had people there that actually helped him hear the questions and things like that. So I don't know if it was there of him not hearing it or the audio just not being very good.
Hmm. So now we know the legend of Bob Dole very well, even here in Chicago. And I think most Americans probably do. Were there any surprises, or was it just kind of nice to have that intimate connection?
No, it was nice. He has such a wonderful sense of humor, and I'd told the kids about him. We'd read a lot about him, but because they're really not all that familiar with him, he had retired from the Senate when they were like 4 years old, so they're really not familiar with him. But he did offer some of his unique sense of humor, and I think he felt comfortable with us. He was only on for about 20 minutes, and he had to go. So I mean, it wasn't a conversation, but it was enough to expose the kids to.
And it sort of, I would think, have brought World War II alive for them. I mean, here was somebody who had been through that war, could talk about it firsthand, about his injuries and how he came back from them, right?
Absolutely. In fact, we really are. I had a student do most of the interviewing. The kids had written questions, but he really talked, and we really wanted to focus on the greatest generation being not just war heroes. And he made it necessary to say, and he was right, that it wasn't just the men that went to war. It was everybody here at home that was doing whatever needed to be done. It wasn't just the young men in Europe and in the South Pacific doing their thing. And so he made sure that we understood that Russell, Kansas was not the easiest place to live in the 1930s and 40s, and that Kansas and the whole country was struggling. But no, everybody was doing their part.
It's interesting. I mean, he lived through some really tough times, and we're told that what we're going through now is somewhat comparable in terms of the worst economic downturn.
Right.
Did he discuss that at all?
He really didn't. But I think that our kids can't even begin to, and I definitely can't either begin to understand what that was like. I mean, we can read a lot. He didn't really address that, but I don't. I think obviously to compare then to now would be not really very fair to those people that lived through the Dust Bowl, especially here in Kansas, and then of course the horrible Great Depression. So he really didn't address that much, but it was just tough.
Well, now okay. So you talked to Senator Dole. Have you talked to other people in the classroom during the course of the school year?
Yes. Well, actually, not through using Skype or anything like that. I would like to do more of that to bring people from all over the world into my class. I had invited Bob Green, and I guess being in Chicago, you might know him. He wrote a book about the North Platte Canteen in Nebraska and this unique place up there. And I was always sorry about that. Always interested in that, and I had contacted him 2 years ago, and he emailed me, but he didn't really want to come in and visit with us over Skype or anything at that point. But I would like to bring authors and people like that into our classroom.
Yeah, well, I worked at the same place as Bob Green for a while. I worked at Chicago Sun-Times,
Okay,
and so I did. He just sort of preceded me. So
okay,
not that I know him, but you could maybe try him again. Maybe, but but what other advantages do you see to having this teleconferencing Skype video link in your classroom?
one of the things I can see is that visiting with other classrooms. I teach American government, and I have a brother that teaches 50 miles away in a small town just size of Sterling, and we have run an e-congress where the kids write bills and they share them between the two schools. And instead of having them necessarily just done on paper or on email or that type of thing, I would like next year for us to be able to, for the kids to go on Skype and actually propose their bills so the other kids can see them in the other community, and so they put a face to the bill who's written the bill and what they're about, and that way they can make a passion plea for the kids to pass their bill. So that's one of the things I want to do in the future.
I see. Well, listen, I appreciate your help, Brian, and let me know next year. Maybe we'll cover your Congress too.
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye bye.